My story isn't about medals or records. It's about faith, heartbreak, and the relentless pursuit of hope. It's about falling so many times that standing back up feels impossible and doing it anyway. I wasn't born a runner. I became one out of desperation. When I was 13, I was bullied every single day on the bus ride home. They didn't just hurt me with their words. They made me believe I didn't matter. I joined the track team because running was my escape. It was my way of getting off that bus and away from them. I wasn't fast. Honestly, I was terrible. I could barely keep up with anyone. But somehow, I found joy in the struggle. Running didn't care if I was good at it. It just let me breathe. I went from invisible to unstoppable, and it wasn't because of me. It was because I prayed over and over for God to help me. And He did. At 16, I left home and moved to Utah to start college early. It was terrifying. I was a teenager living all alone, trying to navigate life without a roadmap. I enrolled at BYU, where I decided to chase my dream of running again. I was determined to prove I belonged. By then, my body betrayed me. My IT bands gave out, leaving me in pain so severe I couldn't even walk some days. I found myself on crutches and wheelchairs, watching the team practice without me. Every step felt like a reminder that I didn't belong. I dropped out of BYU and tried to move on. I pursued acting and modeling in California, thinking maybe I was meant for something else. For a while, it felt like the right path. But no matter how many auditions I landed or roles I booked, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. One night, in my North Hollywood apartment, I hit my breaking point. I fell to my knees and prayed. I begged God to heal me, to give me back the legs I thought I had lost forever. I told Him, if you restore me, I'll run for you. The next night, I ran 10 miles. For the first time in years, there was no pain. I felt like I was flying. I cried the whole way home, overwhelmed by the miracle I just experienced. 4 days later, I packed my car and drove back to Utah, determined to give running one last shot. But when I got there, the coach who had offered me a spot changed his mind. I was crushed again. On a run to clear my head, a stranger stopped me. He invited me to train with his team. I showed up the next day and realized it was the BYU team. Again. For 8 weeks, I trained harder than I ever had, holding my own with some of the best runners in the country. But then, another devastating blow. NCAA eligibility rules meant I couldn't compete. It felt like God was closing every door I tried to walk through. I started to believe the whispers in my head that said I wasn't enough. But then, out of nowhere, another door opened. Canadian schools had different rules, and I transferred to a college in Alberta. But just as quickly as that door opened, the pandemic slammed it shut. Seasons were canceled, and I found myself back in Utah, training alone. I joined the BYU farm team, running 100-mile weeks and pouring my heart into the sport I couldn't seem to let go of. Eventually, I got recruited to Oklahoma City University, where everything changed. I won multiple national titles, set records, and helped my team win championships. For the first time in years, I felt like I belonged. But life has a way of breaking you when you least expect it. Within one semester, I lost my dad, my brother, my grandmother, and my best friends. The grief was unbearable. I dropped out again, thinking this time I wouldn't come back. But God wasn't finished with me. On a run in Riverton, Utah, I met a group of high schoolers who recognized me from Strava. Their coach invited me to help, and for the first time in months, I found joy again. Coaching those kids reminded me why I loved running in the first place. It wasn't about winning, it was about connecting, inspiring, and giving others hope. That led me to Salt Lake Community College, where I ran my heart out. I won every national title I set my eyes on, broke records, and fulfilled dreams I thought I'd buried long ago. And now, here I am, a professional runner for Saucony. Looking back, every step of this journey has a testament to God's grace. He carried me through injuries, heartbreak, rejection, and grief. He showed me that even in the darkest moments, there is light. To anyone listening, your story isn't over. Whatever pain you're carrying, whatever mountain you're facing, I promise you, it's worth it to keep going. The same God who carried me will carry you too. This is just the beginning. Join me on this journey. Subscribe, follow me on Strava, and let's chase miracles together. I love you all, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Agreed. So great.